All right, let's talk about building a digital commerce system if you're a manufacturer. Today, we're going to walk through a really practical 10-step playbook. So if you've ever been stuck in one of those projects that just got lost in tech debates and never seemed to deliver, well, this is the blueprint you need to actually get it right. Let's jump in.
And we're going to kick things off with the single biggest and most expensive mistake that so many companies make. And this quote just nails it. Projects start with a conversation about a tool, right? Should we use Shopify? Instead of taking a step back and asking the real question, what business problem are we actually trying to solve here?
So, okay, if jumping straight to a tool is the big mistake, what's the right way to do it? How do you build a system that genuinely helps your customers and makes your own business simpler instead of just adding another layer of complexity? Well, that is exactly what this 10-step playbook is all about.
It all starts with phase 1, draw your blueprint. And the key thing to get here is that the first, most crucial steps are all about looking inward. Before you ever look at a single piece of software, you have to define your own strategy and build a really solid foundation.
Step 1 is without a doubt the most important. Define your business outcomes first. And we're not talking about vague goals here. We mean concrete, measurable things. For instance, maybe you want to slash your quote-to-order time from a painful 10 days down to 3. Or maybe the goal is to get 60% of your repeat business onto a self-service portal. And that last point on the slide is everything. These goals become the filter for every single conversation you have. For every feature a vendor shows you, you ask, does this help us achieve one of our core outcomes? If not, it's just noise.
All right, on to step 2. Before you can even dream about a better future, you've got to get brutally honest about today. You need to map out exactly how an order moves through your company right now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You just can't fix a process you don't really understand.
In this example, it shows you exactly what that often looks like. You know, a customer calls a sales rep, who then emails a customer service rep, who then has to manually type everything into the ERP, which then kicks off the whole warehouse process. You can just feel the friction points, can't you? Think about how many places that order can get slowed down, get entered incorrectly, or just plain lost.
Next up, step 3 is about taking a full inventory of your systems. List every single piece of tech that touches your sales process. Now that means the big official stuff like your ERP and your CRM. But, and this is so important, you also have to hunt down the shadow IT. You know, the hidden spreadsheets and those little homegrown tools that people really depend on to do their jobs. If you don't account for those, they will absolutely break your new system.
And all that inventory work leads you to this crucial moment in step 4. It's time to end the data chaos. The solution is to assign one and only one source of truth for each type of data. So as you see here, your ERP is the boss of pricing and inventory, period. Your PIM system owns all the product data. Your CRM owns all the contacts. Once you get these roles clear, you can build clean, reliable connections instead of a messy web of workarounds.
Okay, with that internal foundation all set, we can now move to phase 2, design the experience. This is where we shift our focus, we stop looking inward at our own processes, and we start looking outward at the people who really matter, our customers. And step 5 asks the single most important question of this entire phase. Forget what's easy for a vendor to sell you. Think about your best customers, your dealers, your biggest accounts. How do they actually want to buy from you? Do they need a quick self-service checkout? Do they need to talk to a person? Your tech has to support their journey, not the other way around.
This leads you right into step 6, choosing your big picture architectural pattern. And you've really got 3 main options. An ERP-centric approach is great if your business basically lives inside a modern ERP already. A platform-centric approach, using something like Shopify as the core, that's often a great fit for simpler product catalogs. And then there's Composable, or headless, which uses a bunch of best-in-class tools all connected by APIs. It gives you the most flexibility, which is awesome for really complex products or business rules. The goal isn't to chase a trend, it's to pick the pattern that's going to work for you for the next 5 years.
Okay, now this is a total game changer. Step 7 is about never ever starting a vendor conversation with, "So show us a demo." Instead, you start by writing a really clear requirements brief based on all the work you've already done. You put your business outcomes in there, your key customer journeys, and all your non-negotiable integrations. This forces vendors to respond to your needs, which puts you in complete control of the conversation.
Okay, we've done our internal homework and we've designed the external experience. Now it's time for the final phase, build and measure.
After you've picked your vendors based on those clear requirements, it's finally time to turn that blueprint into a working reality.
Now, for step 9, a critical piece of advice for success. Avoid the Big Bang project. They almost always fail, seriously. Instead, you build a phased roadmap that can actually survive contact with reality. Like you see in this timeline, in the first 90 days, you focus on quick wins. Go after the worst friction points to make people's lives easier. Then you launch the core portal. It's only later that you start adding in all the advanced features. This way, you build momentum and you're delivering real value early and often.
And finally, step 10. You have to remember, launching the system is not the finish line. It's the starting line. You absolutely must have a governance model, a small team with people from across the company who can make decisions. You have to measure what matters, tracking those KPIs you set all the way back in step 1. And then you have to use that data to constantly adjust and improve the system.
So, we've walked through the whole 10-step blueprint. But if you had to boil this entire process down to its absolute essence, what's the one strategic takeaway? What's the core philosophy that makes this all work?
It's this simple phrase, outcomes before tools. This is the idea we started with, and it's the most important one to finish with. Define what you are trying to achieve for the business first. Then and only then do you let that outcome drive every single decision you make about technology.
So I'll leave you with one last question to take this back to your own world. Looking at how things really get done in your business today, what's the one process that you need to fix first?